Right now on Nightside, an emergency landing in Moscow turns deadly. A Russian plane bursting into flames. We bring you the latest. Dozens of local veterans honored for their service, and one facing homelessness now has a place to live. The latest tonight in an animal cruelty case involving a Bridgeport veterinarian, a dog owner asking for help, and a parent victim of that vet. I'm Nick Medanis. You're watching News 12 Nightside. Those stories coming up, but first the forecast as we take a look at our community camera in Stratford, where we see those raindrops accumulating on our camera. I think we've had enough. Meteorologist Michelle Powers, when will this rain end?
Yes, I know. It feels like it's been all day long, and it basically has for us. Now, tonight we may have some flooding from the rain, but also from our high tide cycle, rather. So that comes up around midnight, and we may see some minor flooding with that. Tides running about a foot and a half above where they should be. So that is another issue for tonight. In terms of rainfall, it definitely picked up this evening, and we are looking at about 7 or 8/10 of an inch, approaching an inch, I think, by the time all this wraps up. Here we have Stamford coming in at the highest thus far, and the rain will taper off now for the overnight. But as we start this overnight period, we are going to be dealing with some of that rain. It is exiting, which is good news for us. So that means tomorrow morning's commute really shouldn't be impacted by this. So once we get closer to midnight and those early overnight hours, the rain will move farther east. We'll be left with clouds for a while, and then the sun comes out tomorrow. Tomorrow's a nicer day. We have some sunshine followed by some clouds, but I think you'll like the temperatures most of all. So I know we just have to be patient now with the rain. Luckily, it clears out in time for all of us to get up and out in the morning, and it will be a pleasant start to the work week. Well, what about rain chances the rest of the week? So make sure you stick around. I'll have much more on that coming up. Nick, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. Devastation after that plane crash at a Moscow airport. You're looking at new video tonight. 41 people are dead. The fire aboard the regional jet flown by Russia's flagship Aeroflot broke out after the plane made that hard emergency landing. Video on Russian TV shows fire bursting from the plane's underside as it landed. The plane had taken off from that airport but turned back after unspecified problems in the air. A disabled veteran who was about to be homeless is thanking News 12 Connecticut tonight for helping him avoid that nightmare. Frank Recchia following the story for weeks and has this update.
I was losing everything. My whole world was just coming apart.
59-year-old Ezra Priest, who is disabled, says it's incredible to think that only a couple of weeks ago he was on the verge of becoming homeless.
Ezra Priest was in danger of being on the streets.
But today he was welcomed here at Homes for the Brave in Bridgeport, a shelter for homeless veterans where he will be living until he gets permanent housing.
It's just like a blanket just being wrapped around, and I know I'm safe because the veterans here are like me.
The Marine Corps veteran had been staying with friends but could no longer do so. He was weak from a series of illnesses.
I had a stroke, had 2 aneurysms.
And no shelter would take him in due to his condition. His doctor said he was too frail to survive on the streets, and that is when Priest contacted us.
I give my thanks to Frank Recchia, News 12.
We put him in touch with Senator Richard Blumenthal, who worked with Executive Director Vince Santilli and the VA to get this proud vet a spot here.
Ezra Priest was literally on the verge of homelessness and heartbreak when News 12 and Frank Recchia brought him to our attention, and Homes for the Brave answered the call.
The turnaround time here was really amazing because you were on the verge of becoming homeless, and then all of a sudden you're here at Homes for the Brave and things are going really well.
Yes.
It feels great to have a gentleman that's not out in the rain right now and instead is safe, sheltered, and has access to all the things we offer here at Homes for the Brave.
I have big hopes.
Hopes for a future with permanent housing. But in the meantime, this proud Marine says he is thankful to be surrounded by people who care. He says he reached out for help and was not ignored. That, he says, is consistent with the tradition of the Corps.
I gave myself up freely, and this is what I'm getting back in return.
In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12 Connecticut.
Blumenthal thanking the VA for working quickly to get Priest help and get him into homes for the brave. For 60 years now, dozens of disabled veterans and recovering veterans get to connect outside hospitals or nursing homes with food, fun, and music. Here's Nina Kapoor.
Though the men and women in this room may come from different parts of the country and have different backgrounds or views, they have one major thing in common.
To give honor to our VA hospitals and veterans who have sacrificed so much for our country.
They all made the ultimate sacrifice. Sunday, they were recognized for just that, while getting a little spoiled as well.
I've been coming here about 5 years, and each time I come, it's fantastic.
The VFW bussed 150 disabled and recovering military veterans from VA hospitals in West Haven, Rocky Hill, and others across the state to Milford for an afternoon of food, music, and entertainment.
Have a great time. Dinner, meet friends, great hostess. Everything is good about it.
Bobby has been coming for years now. He says his favorite part is the gifts they receive before leaving that usually include books, toiletries, and food. But organizers hope they also walk away feeling refreshed, appreciated, and well-connected with fellow vets from around the country.
Some of them come year after year. They're in the nursing home unit at West Haven, or they're in transition. And you could ask them. What I think they'll tell you is that they just want a day out of the hospital.
My favorite part is being amongst other people who've been through the same thing I've been through, and people who are trying to help us.
In Milford, Nina Kapoor, News 12 Connecticut.
The buses, handicap accessible vans, and food donated by sponsors. Lawyers for a former Yale basketball captain expelled over sexual misconduct allegations are getting ready for a possible settlement with the school. A conference at a federal court in Bridgeport is set for Tuesday. Jack Montague is seeking monetary damages. He was thrown out of school in 2016 after a woman testified before a Yale committee about an incident 2 years earlier. She says a sexual encounter with the player was not consensual. He denies that. No criminal charges were ever brought. A suspected drunken driver hit an officer this morning in Norwalk while trying to flee a traffic stop. It happened shortly after midnight on Main Street when the officer apparently saw the driver, Terrence Parker, run a red light. The officer says Parker's license was suspended and he smelled of alcohol. Police say Parker became belligerent when the officer told him the car would be towed. Parker allegedly hit the gas, hit the cop, knocking him down. He was caught in Bridgeport and is facing charges tonight. The whistleblower in a Bridgeport animal cruelty case launches a fundraiser to pay for his dog's medical expenses. Jose Valentin says his 1-year-old pit bull almost died after unnecessary surgery in February. He took the dog to Black Rock Animal Hospital where he says Dr. Amir Wasfi treated him. Part of those animal cruelty charges. As you saw first on News 12 Connecticut, police arrested Wasfi this week. Valentin says he was proud to be the whistleblower, but now he needs help with those bills. He says his dog is still sick.
He's always like moaning, it's hard for him to get up. Sometimes I gotta pick him up to walk him outside, pick him up to bring him back inside. He gotta go through weekly visits, he's going through a lot. It's gonna be a long recovery, a long road ahead of us before he recovers 100%.
We have more information about that fundraiser at news12.com. That vet is out on bond, 10 grand. Crews in New Haven investigating a deadly house fire that broke out early this morning on West Street. The fire department says 16 people were in the building. 2 people died. Officials say 3 people jumped to escape. 3 firefighters treated for injuries. The cause is under investigation tonight. Norwalk police looking into a stabbing at a fast food restaurant on Belden Avenue. It happened just after 7 last night. Officers say a woman had a stab wound to the leg. She is expected to be okay, and now the search is on for the suspect. Also in Norwalk, police investigating an accident that left a pedestrian hurt. It happened just after 3 this morning, North Main Street. Police say the victim was lying in the road. That victim went to the hospital. The driver left the scene but later contacted police and we're told is cooperating. Anyone who saw the accident, though, is still asked to call Norwalk police. Connecticut's Lemon Law program is being credited tonight with providing consumers more than $2.5 million in refunds last year. Officials say that's an increase of some $300,000. The Department of Consumer Protection processed 81 cases, it says, in 2018. All new car dealers in the state are required to post lemon law information in their service departments and provide buyers with the info at the time of a sale. Honoring Cinco de Mayo with a Greek twist in Bridgeport. Here it is, Cinco de Gyro, and it has a wide array of Greek food. The fundraiser at Holy Trinity Greek Orthodox Church does aim to build awareness about this date in history. They say the parish is culturally diverse and welcomes the chance to celebrate holidays that are not traditionally Greek.
It's a great event. It's authentic gyros, authentic chicken gyros, pork gyros, kodosouvlis, and we have some baklava sundaes here, and it's to support the church. We have a great community here, and we're just looking for support from the community.
And hundreds showing up for the event today. Though it may not have been ideal weather in either case, the party goes on at Stepping Stones Museum for Children in Norwalk for Cinco de Mayo. The family-friendly fun featuring storytelling, hula hoops, salsa dancing. It's to expose young children to other cultures.
Part of our mission here at Stepping Stones is to help develop lifelong learners and enhance children's understanding of the world. So the more that we can expose children to that at a young age, the more context they'll have to build upon as they grow and learn.
Kids made decorative folk art and learned about the Mayan calendar too. Students in Bridgeport getting the royal treatment. We take you to this year's Barnum Festival next here tonight.
Thank you for making News 12 the Tri-State Area's #1 source for local news. News 12, on air, online, and everywhere you go.
Bridgeport has some new royal residents as part of this year's Barnum Festival. 6 students are crowned as king, queen, princesses at Visano's Four Seasons in Stratford. This out of dozens of juniors nominated based on community involvement, extracurricular activities, and academic performance. The new royal court taking part in many of the festival's events.
They're all winners because they're representing their schools throughout the area. But they're looking for people that have great personalities, that are actually have great dancing skills, great social skills, people that will represent the Barnum Festival very well. But anyone here tonight would fall into that category.
The festival goes through next month. It honors the life of P.T. Barnum and celebrates the greater Bridgeport community. And Pride tonight in Fairfield. The Fairfield Ludlow Rocketry Club makes it to this year's Team American Rocketry Challenge Finals. The competition is for high school students. Out of 830 teams across the nation, only 100 qualify for the finals. The winning squad will win a trip to Paris to compete in the international challenge that is set for later this year. A Fairfield restaurant celebrating more than 40 years in business, Mancuso's on Kings Highway East, marking the occasion, offering specials for its 43rd birthday. Local politicians acknowledged the milestone, calling it a local landmark revered for its authentic home cooking. The husband and wife owners say this day helps them share the rich history of their business.
We feel very proud. I grew up in Fairfield. We have served Fairfield. We have seen our customers grow, their children bring their children. It's been we've been serving generations of Fairfield and local residents.
And those owners say their menu is based on family recipes passed down for generations. All right, we're getting ready to start the work week with meteorologist Michelle Powers. Will we finally be rid of all this gloom and all this rain?
Yeah, I think so.
Time.
You know, Monday's weather looks great.
Good.
It's the type of weather that will get you up and out of bed.
That's what we need on a Monday, right?
Yes. We are looking forward to that sunshine. It's just now during the overnight, part of the overnight, we are still talking about rain. In Norwalk, it's been a soggy day, a soggy evening. Now getting up in the morning, a much brighter picture. We need that sunshine and eventually it will get here. It's just now as we get closer to about midnight, we're still talking about rain. After that point, it tapers off nicely and we are dry getting up in in the morning. Area of low pressure is passing to our south right now. Once that pulls away, higher pressure builds back in. It will take a while for our sky to clear, but it does. And tomorrow's a great day. You may notice a few more clouds coming in during the afternoon, but overall it is dry. We are between systems for tomorrow because by Tuesday we're going to watch this blue line, this cold front, move through, and that may spark up a shower or even a thunderstorm here locally. That won't amount to much, and that is not an all-day rain like we just had. We dry out Wednesday. Wednesday looks great, but now things are looking a little soggy for the end of the week, and that may be Thursday and Friday for us, with another area of low pressure moving through the region. So enjoy your Monday. Temperatures warming up because we have more sunshine, and the winds will actually be northerly waking up in the morning. They do turn more onshore during the day, but that will give us temperatures in the 60s, 67 in Stamford to about 70 in Wilton, 69 in Torrington, about 70 in Weston, and 67 in Bridgeport. So these temperatures are more seasonable, if not slightly above. Make sure you stick around. That full 7-day forecast is up next, and that's your hyperlocal weather.
The president's former personal lawyer reports to prison tomorrow. Michael Cohen begins that 3-year sentence for white-collar crimes, tax fraud, campaign finance violations. This month, Cohen's attorneys tried to delay by offering Congress a hard drive and documents that may relate to investigations into Mr. Trump. Didn't work. Cohen is set for the federal facility in Otisville, New York, 70 miles from Manhattan, by 2 in the afternoon. President Trump says special counsel Robert Mueller should not testify before Congress. Mr. Trump moving away from his previous declaration that he would leave it to the Attorney General to decide. The president escalating tensions with House Democrats as they seek to bring Mueller before the Judiciary Committee. Democrats want more information about Mueller's report on Russia. He is scheduled to testify on May 15th. The president planning to place more tariffs on goods imported to the U.S. from China. Mr. Trump saying on Twitter today $325 billion of Chinese goods will be taxed at 25%. He says the current 10% tariff will be increased this week to 25%. This comes 2 months after he warned U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods were unlikely to go away, even if a trade deal is reached. The president today announcing his pick to head the Office of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Former U.S. Border Patrol Chief Mark Morgan, he had that job for a few months. Mr. Trump tweeting the news today. Morgan is a vocal proponent of the president's plan to build a wall. He resigned from that Office of Border Patrol in January 2017. North Korea state media showing Kim Jong-un observing live fire drills of long-range rocket launchers and what appears to be a new short-range ballistic missile. South Korea expressing concern the launches are in violation of an agreement to stop all hostile acts. The North's state media saying that Kim Jong-un expressed great satisfaction over the drills. Uber and Lyft may be rivals on the road, but their drivers are soon teaming up to strike. The New York Taxi Worker Alliance represents rideshare drivers and the New York City taxi drivers. They say they're fighting for better wages, job security, and stabilized fares. Other strikes are expected across the country this Wednesday. Boy Scouts in Darien putting on a big fundraiser with a giant tag sale with a little something for everyone. We'll take you there. Scouting out deals in Darien. Forget the weather. The Darien Boy Scouts held a giant tag sale at the Andrew Shaw Memorial Scout Cabin, an event going 47 years. Thousands of items up for sale, books, electronics, even furniture. It's a fundraiser for the Darien Scouting Program, which is made up of 3 scout troops, 4 Cub Scout packs, and a STEM-focused venture crew. Organizers say they love seeing all the community support.
This is also a great way to build community. We've got people who've been coming for 46 years. We have a woman who's been coming since she was a kid. So she's now in her at least 50s or 60s, and she said, I would never miss it. I would never miss it. My mom took me. So we enjoy seeing everybody come out.
And anything that's not sold apparently gets donated to local charities or recycled. State officials will hold a tribute to the late former Governor Ella Grasso on what would have been her 100th birthday. The Connecticut native was the first female governor elected who had not been married to a former governor. She was also a member of the U.S. House. A ceremony is set for this Friday morning in the state Capitol building.
Rain, rain, go away, and eventually it does. We are dry as we start our work week here. I know Monday has a 10% chance of rain. That is very, I don't think that's correct there. Even Tuesday is very little at a 20% chance. There is a cold front coming through. We may have a shower or a storm, but now the second half of the week does look a bit unsettled. I think more Thursday, Friday time frame for us will be soggy again as the atmosphere reloads. Overnight now, the sky will actually gradually clear, temperatures dropping into the 40s. Look at this tomorrow, temperatures upper 60s, close to 70. Take a look at that 7-day forecast. It's even warmer as we go into Tuesday for a time. Cold front comes through, temperatures drop midweek, and then get your umbrellas ready Thursday, Friday, maybe on Mother's Day too. And that's a look at your hyperlocal forecast.
Michelle, thank you. Avengers Endgame with another dominant performance at the box office as it nears a global record. The film crosses the $2 billion mark worldwide in record time. It's one of 5 movies to ever reach that number. It's behind only Avatar, which sits at $2.8 billion. It's now the second biggest film of all time worldwide and will likely keep breaking records. You're watching News 12 Nightside. We'll be right back.